And this is Majin Oni, and here's some comic reviews for you. I'm going to do something a little different. You know, a lot of times I just do Marvel and DC, but I bought a lot of independent stuff. So we're going to talk about The Plunder, Secret Identity, 8, and then we got some DC and we got some Marvel at the end. Some of this stuff I'll go kind of quick, and some of this I'll go a little bit more in depth, okay? Let's start off with Plunder. First of all, Plunder basically deals with Somali pirates. They're out on the high seas. They're shooting things up. Well, except for one guy who's just basically, I want to be a pirate, but I can't shoot a gun. I've never done this before. And then they're like, well, son, this is your training ground, and you need to start shooting, or we're gonna feed you to the sharks. And I'm like rolling my eyes, going, oh, how cliched of a beginning can you have? But anyways, it takes a twist because they meet as they're adrift from their last battle. They end up finding a ship just drifting, and this ship is something funky is going on. There's dead bodies, there's mutilated bodies, and they're going, what the heck is going on? And things are not as quite as they appear. And I thought overall the story was interesting, the art was okay, but my problem is none of these characters are sympathetic. You know, like I prefer if every single one of these characters die. You know, even the one who's like, I don't really want to fight. Screw you, you're a fucking pirate who goes and, aboard ships and, like, basically kidnaps people for ransom and steal their goods. So you know what? F you. All of you should just die. And I'm just hoping whatever's on this boat kills you all in the most violent and bloody death. So if I do continue to get this, which there might be a pretty good chance I will, because it's only 4 issues, I'm really hoping for the monster to win in this case. Secret Identities. This actually was a really interesting book. What we have here is a group of superheroes that, they're already established, and you have this hero that suddenly appears, saves the day at the very last minute, and he's up to some shenanigans. The heroes don't know what he's up to yet, but he's definitely planning something very bad. In this issue here, what I thought was good was they set up every single one of the heroes. They gave you like maybe a couple pages to show, okay, this is their private life, so you get a good, not really like the greatest understanding of their background, but they gave you enough, so this way you get a feel for each character. And all these characters are really diverse, and some of these had some really interesting concepts going on. Like you had this one guy here who's running across country, and he's changing. It looks like, no, he's got himself 2 lives and 2 sets of kids. So I thought that was kind of like, I see. And then you got the failed comedian superhero. Then you have the superhero got his legs cut off. The superhero that's just kind of wants friends, but he's clumsy and he ruins things. So there's some interesting concepts and nice little twist at the end. But definitely this guy is up to some shenanigans. I'm definitely gonna get the next issue. Definitely. I just got to remember to check it on my box. But I really did actually enjoy Secret Identities. The art's okay. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's definitely not. It's very passable. So I don't think you'd be terribly offended if you got this one. 8 from Dark Horse. This one was, this was like a weird story, but it's like as you're reading it, you can kind of pick things up really quickly. Basically, this guy is sent through time, and he's on a mission. He was promised something of great importance to him, and the mission goes awry. And he believes the mission goes awry, but he can't remember things, and he's trying. as he's like basically coming out of his sleep, he's he's getting little images of what's going on, and eventually he meets up with some people who are not the most friendliest at the beginning. But the story I thought was really interesting, and I think this could really go in some interesting directions. So I'm seriously considering adding this to my list also. I really out of these three, this one I just wish them all dead, every one of them. But these two, I'm pretty pretty favorable of these ones. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. All right, Justice League number 39. This is the big battle between Justice League and the virus, and the battle. I think what you're going to find is some people are going to find the fight very satisfactory. Wonder Woman's fighting the Justice League, and you have Superman having to work with Lex Luthor. But I found the battle kind of unfulfilling, so to speak. I understand Wonder Woman's not going to go all out because it is the Justice League and it's her friends, but I just found it not as thrilling as I thought it was. I thought that like Lex Luthor's like, well, Superman's like, well, we need this cure now, and Lex Luthor's says it's gonna take days, and they kind of conveniently tied everything up to give Lex the days he needs to cure the virus. So it's basically, I don't want to say it's a sloppy ending, but it's a type of ending that's very convenient just to get to the next, issue 40, which will be something new type thing. But other than that, the art was good. This is probably the best DC book out on the besides regular Batman, the two best books out there and for DC, which is kind of sad. But because this could be a lot better though. But it was all right. Nothing really to complain too much about. The only thing I'm really going to say about this is why in God's name, in the name of Jack Kirby, does all of these Earth to World's End nonsense start off the same fucking way with these goddamn elementals standing around picking their nose, looking at each other every single fucking issue now? My God, it just drives me insane. Fucking worst book out on the goddamn market. Superman Batman number 19. This is what I think of Superman Batman 19. This is a classic example of, you know what? We don't know what to do. We've thrown out our best ideas. Nothing left. So what do? And think about this for a second. Think of the history of television. You have classic runs, right? Television series that have done, they're hits, and they've, solid week after week. And they're like, what do? We introduce a kid, and then everything tanks, right? In this issue, they have no ideas. So they go, Superman, you have more family that we can introduce. How about, I think his mother, and there's some other family member that's thrown into the mix. And I'm just like, once I saw that, I was just like, really? I mean, what happened to when the concept of Superman is a one of a kind? What happened to the fact that Superman was alone in the universe, where he had this tremendous power and he had nobody to look to understand him? because technically everybody's beneath him, his abilities, and he has to shape his life to adapt to that situation. Where now it's, well, you got Supergirl, Superboy, you have Zod, you have the bottled cities, you have Superman's family, Superman seeing his family, there's messages for Superman, false messages on top of that. And then it's like, what happened to the magic of a man who is out of place? A man who is special is just like, now he's one of millions. And I'm just, it's like, this is another one. It's like, I don't care how good the art is. I don't care how good the villain is at the end. I don't care how good the action is. All I'm saying is, it's like, you don't have any more ideas, so you just keep bringing back family members for this guy. I'm like, fuck the family, man. He's dead. They're all dead. Get over it, Oh, shit. Uncanny X-Men number 31. This one I thought was kind of clever. You don't understand though. I was happy. Cyclops was dead. I was one of the most happiest comic book readers ever. And then things changed. Everybody who was happy that Cyclops was finally dead is going to read this. I'm not going to spoil things, but I'm just going to say their happy day is gone. But that being said, there's some really cool things that happen in here. What you have is a lot of the X-Men die, and you have, if you remember, one of the X students went back to the past to talk to Xavier and going, hey X, you got a problem here with your son, Scott, quote unquote son. And Xavier does something. And it's going to, technically, it would send a ripple effect through time. Now, what I really like about this book, or not necessarily the book, but the solution is, while originally my first thought was it's a cop-out ending. You just did something really convenient just so this way you can put all your toys back in where they belong. But at the same time, it goes back to the concept of Marvel superheroes are continually tampering with time, continually destroying time, and damaging the time stream, with all of their meddling, so to speak. So it falls in complete line with that. And I was very, very pleased. This book entertained me quite a bit. So I was very happy when I read this. Silk. Okay. There's two things about this book. Do not expect the Silk from Amazing Spider-Man. You don't get that. You don't get that on any level. You don't get that in the writing sense, and you definitely don't get this in the artistic sense. This is definitely designed for a more feminine audience, but I'm not saying this is bad. They're kind of ignoring part of the relationship between Silk and Amazing Spider-Man. And how they're just connected and they just want to have spider babies all the time. They still are in touch with each other, but it's not the same connection. This issue actually isn't bad in the sense of they're explaining this is who Silk is in her personal life. This is her background history. So on many levels, this book actually succeeds at doing a really, really decent job at establishing a brand new character and giving her own identity. But at the same time, like, if you're looking for Amazing Spider-Man Silk, you just don't, it's just not going to be there. So that being said, I think this is going to definitely attract a different audience. Spider fans, they're going to be fickle anyways about these offshoot characters, but I think if it finds a voice within the female comic buyers, this book can. I'm not going to say it's going to be doing Miss Marvel type of numbers, but it can. I think it can definitely find its place, and in time, I think that they've established a decent background that this character can actually potentially grow into something interesting and viable later on. But but that's all going to be depending upon how the public perceives it. Because, like I said, the art's okay. I mean, I don't mind the art. It's just I guess you can say my expectation level was totally different. And I'm just warning you, if you pick it up, just expect something different. And sometimes different is good. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Like, share. Let me know what you guys got, what you guys liked this week. And let me know if you guys picked up Silk and those other Image books. Let me know what you guys thought about Cyclops. The fucking goddamn family. Oh. And most importantly, the Xeroxing of pages 1 through 3. Anyways, I also do the podcast at Cons, Freaks, and Geeks, which is down below. I'll have more stuff later. So until next time.